What's up everybody, Fox here, and today we're going to do a unbox video. This particular firearm is something that I have not fired yet. I haven't even handled it that much, but I'm bringing you guys along because I want to show you from box to range to thoughts and opinions. So today it's just going to be opening this firearm up, checking it out, and then towards the end of things we're going to cut over to the range and see how it performed. But with that being said, we're going to be talking about the Maxim PDX in 300 Blackout. I'm going to get the camera set up, turn you guys around, and we will open this up together. Alright, now that I got everything turned around here, you can see the PDX pizza box here. So let's go ahead and get right to the unbox. Right on the top, you've got a Maxim Defense mini catalog. Looks like it shows their weapon systems, their uppers, parts kits, and their stocks and arm braces, which we will be coming back to that later on, probably in the video. Hand guards, and the hat brake, which is a unique system specifically for these PDX and Maxim Defense firearms. So we'll peel her back here, and right on top you've got the owner's manual, MDX weapon systems, and on the back here it is sure to let you know this is 300 Blackout. Do not shoot 223 or 556 or whatever rounds you may want to try to jam in that AR mag, because they're not responsible if you blow yourself up. So here is this nice beauty. Gotta say, this gun just looks awesome. Quite excited to do a review on this little small tank. It does come with a 20-round Lancer 300 Blackout mag. And of course, while picking it up at the shop, I had to pick up my favorite red dot, the HS 510C Hollow Sun. It just matches it perfect. Almost peanut butter and, well, I don't know. Came with some Ballistol wipes. I thought this was pretty cool. They threw in a M-Rax pick rail, so you can put your light out there, or a grip, and gun lock, and the first ever round chambered or fired through this MDX. Just wanted to kind of show you guys opening the box so you can see it left the gun counter and came straight over to the man cave. So with that being said, let's get the camera turned around and give a little bit of breakdown of this Maxim MDX. Alright, so now that you guys got to see this PDX right out of the pizza box and into my hands, we can kind of talk about some first initial impressions on this. Gun is clear, and first off, let's start with its looks. Right looking into this gun, I think it looks really good. Ultimately different. I feel this gun looks extremely different from anything I have in my collection, even from the AR standpoint. It just looks different. The color is kind of a gold, brown, tan, FDE, and it just looks awesome. It does have the Reptilia AR15 style grip on it. Gotta admit, I'm not a big fan of these grips. I kind of like almost the SIG grip a little more, a Hogue grip, something a little more, even a Magpul grip. It just kind of feels hollow. I do have to add that this little pistol here does have a lot of front weight to it. You really feel that when you're one-handing it. It does have a lot of weight out here, but then again, it is shooting a 300 Blackout round, so you want to have a little weight out there. Let's start with the back here. You have the buffer system. and this is slightly different than a typical AR15 system. But this particular PDX did not come with a brace or stock. So let's just dive right into that scenario there. You actually have to get a Maxim brand for this. I don't think SB Tactical makes anything that fits on this. They make similar styles, but this whole piece removes here, and it seats in with this buffer system and setup, and kind of sets flush with it. And that is on its way. I just ordered one. Should be here any day now. So by the time we get to the range and get first rounds through this, you'll see it will look quite different. On this upper here, it is what they call the HK upper. It's got the kind of cuts and grooves and enhanced. It's rised quite a bit. It does have a kind of a taller look to it. Get into the magwell flare right here. It is quite flared out, and much like a lot of these newer style AR pistols and firearms, I really like this smoothed out look here. It is really comfortable for the finger to rest on and get to the trigger as well. You don't feel like you're awkwardly reaching or anything. Typical AR15 mag release and paddle. Everything is very tight, which is good. I always say I would much rather have a gun that's kind of tight and needs a break-in period. This does have the Radian charging handle, which is quite nice. Kind of got the aluminum grips there. Trigger is smooth. Have no complaints out of the box with the trigger. It is smooth and easy to operate. I would say it's probably 3.5, maybe 4 pounds. Again, Maxim Defense is made in Minnesota. And from what I've read on their website, these were kind of set up for first responder, law enforcement, military, close quarter combat. Let's go out here to the barrel. So this barrel is specifically patented, or sorry, this brake is specifically patented from Maxim Defense. This is a 2-piece brake, and what it does is when you're firing this gun, it creates all of the gas and all of the power going forward, no blowback towards the shooter. They say it has a great brake on it and doesn't create a big ball or flame. So this apparently is pretty cool. But while we're out here, let's go ahead and talk about this. So probably be a good time to jump in why I bought this little pistol. I wanted something for close quarter combat. I have several different AR-15 and AK pistols, really all kinds of caliber. I am new to the 300 Blackout. So before everybody starts hating on it, I understand what 300 Blackout is capable, and I also understand what 5.56 223 is capable of doing. However, this is going to be used well within the 50 yards to maximum 100 yards, but it is a 5.5-inch barrel. But ultimately, with a brace on this, this is going to be for close quarter combat. Now, my close quarter combats are what I would like to call pest. Of course, this will be a home defense firearm, but ultimately, we live quite in the thick part of the woods of the Arkansas mountains, and we have farm animals. I have lost up to 22 chickens over the last 2 years, and let me tell you, coyotes are a big problem in our farmland and fields that usually has about 100 to 150 cattle on it. So with that being said, whenever I hear a coyote in the yard, even though I have upgraded our chicken coops and now have a healthy group of them, when I hear a coyote, it's always a pain to drag out the full-size AR, AK, whatever it may be with the thermal on it. It's just a lot to get and pull out. So this function is going to be when I can go out pretty close to off of our back porch, off of our property, which is surrounded by thick trees. So realistically, 50 yards is all I need to see. So with a small thermal, flashlight, and iron sights, this will take care of what I need it to do. Which leads me back to this end right here. The main purpose of the 300 Blackout in this firearm is to suppress this. So when this is suppressed, I don't have to worry about waking the family up and ultimately not blowing my eardrums out. So I find it for home defense and needing to get to a firearm fast, the less things you need to grab and get, the better. And ear protection, to me, is usually the last on the list. But you hear that thump in the night and you want to clear, whether it's the house or the yard or the barn, this, to me, is perfect for that. But from what I have read on Maxim's website, you have to use their can and their suppressor. So once you pull this off and you put, say, a dead air or silencer co on this, it apparently voids the warranty, which kind of goes thump. But I don't know. Apparently they offer their own, so I am going to be looking into that. But if that is the case, more than likely I will probably go with the Maxim Defense suppressor, because if this gun runs proper at the range and it's something I'm comfortable with and feel, I will keep this in the collection. So stay tuned for the range day and to see how all of that works. So I did do a little bit of research on Maxim Defense and their customer service. I do know they're not a very old company. This particular 300 Blackout in this PDX has only been out for a couple of years. And I did read there was a few issues with the 300 Blackout in the beginning. There was maybe a baffle that was wrong in here, or a washer that was causing some blowouts from some of the gas. Didn't seem like it was doing anything dangerous to the shooter, but that was something that did concern me. So I didn't really talk a whole lot about the hand stop out here in the first portion of the review, but to me that just seems like it should be necessary. I will probably do something different on that. As you can see here, I did put the 510C, and once we get this out to the range, I should have the brace in by then. We'll do a little bit of a look at it out at the range and of course see how it functions. Forward assist is quite boxy out there, I've noticed, which to me kind of adds to this gun's looks. It's got like a military fighter jet look to it. Maybe somebody else will agree with me there, but even just the brass deflector to the forward assist to some of these cutouts and lines, I've got to say I hope this gun performs really good and reliable, because I think I love the looks of this. For an everyday carry, if you were in maybe a homeland or maybe a security, private security, whatever it is, I think this would just be damn near awesome, especially with that 5.5-inch barrel, keeping things below 100 yards. And like I said again, nobody hate on the 300 Blackout. Don't think I'm going 350, 400 yard deer hunting with this. I will tell you guys again, I think it's going to be perfect for a home defense, truck gun, and overall defense firearm. Yeah, I wanted to bring everyone with me for the unboxing and first look at this gun so you guys can see that it came straight from the gun counter to the man cave. Big shout out to the gentleman that twisted my arm to get into this. No, I'm just kidding. This was something that I seen and knew I could put it to work. So, Fox here, I will catch you guys out at the range. We will do a follow-up review on how the PDX performed. See you guys in a little bit.
Did someone say fighter jets? Misha here. I just wanted to pop in for a second. I wanted to apologize for the bit of rough edits, or rather lack thereof, because so far I haven't found a video program that lets me trim with only the keyboard. Most all of them are mouse accessible and visual, but we will. But for now, you'll just have to endure. It shouldn't change the quality or whatever of the content, but I just wanted to pop in and mention that. Also, hey, Fox said fighter jets, so here's an FA-22 Raptor. With that, back to Fox at the range.
Alright guys, so as you can see, there's something slightly different about this little PDX. It is, as promised, the PDX brakes came in a day early, and I got it put on. Get that out of the way. I didn't record me putting this on because you would have heard a little bit of cussing, and yeah, so we're going to shoot it. And I would like to note, if it does do some failure to feeds, this is an AR15 buffer tube system, so it may or may not feed. We're going to find out, so catch you guys here in a minute. Okay, so we're going to first start off with the 20 round mag that the firearm came with. And I do have a few other mags, P-mag with sight glasses loaded up. Once again, this is 300 Blackout. I'm going to have to watch out for a pile of dog shit there. But I do have our friend Mr. Bucket and a board that's going to be here. And this is, as I said before, a home defense setup. So let's get to it. Who's that? Well, as you can see, ran pretty damn smooth. It was the innocent neighbor kid. Don't let your balls go over the fence! Should have taken care of that. Alright, gonna do a quick run and gun. The PDX.
PDX or MPX?
PDX, actually, yeah. Ran just fine.
Me popping in one more time. It did run reliably. I was there with him, but because of limited time and the cost of 300 Blackout, I let him have the trigger time. The gun to me reminds me of the SIG MPX Copperhead, which we have worked with in the past and was actually a lot of fun and very reliable in and of itself. And I too have tried various Maxim braces, and yeah, they're pretty nice for what they are. With that, I will let you go. If you could, please do like, share, subscribe, and if you could, check out the Patreon page to help support the channel. So that's all from me, but let's tune in for Fox's final thoughts, conclusions, and to see if he thinks the gun is really worth the current price tag.
Okay, so just got back in from the range. It is now kind of snowing, sleeting, raining, nice and cold out. So finally being able to get back, sit down, and talk about the range time with this. So earlier I kind of did talk about, you know, just basic out of the box stuff, but being able to really get it out and put some rounds through it, you can really see what this gun's all about. So I would like to go ahead and say that the buffer tube back here that I spoke about at the range, this is for an AR15. Now, sure, this is an AR15, however, it's slightly different that the stock buffer tube housing is actually shorter. So this actually is about an inch longer, maybe 3/4, but give or take, it's about right there. You guys can see there is a little extra here. So I was concerned about the reliability with that spring having a little bit of extra space in there to move around. but as you can see from the range, it ran reliably, which I'd like to jump right into. That could have a little bit of impact on my review. I really do want to get that changed out. Actually, looking at it now, you can kind of see it's a little loose, so it does need to be tightened up because I can almost hand untighten that. I thought I tightened it pretty good, but then again, we were putting quite a few rounds through it. It's definitely not anything that should come loose, but you can see there, it kind of is. So we will tighten that up and put some more range time in it. But anyways, moving on to that could impact how I feel about this, because while I was shooting this firearm, it did have a little bit of noise in here. And that could be the same even with the shorter buffer tube. I am going to switch that out. But you could definitely hear some noise, some rattle that I don't feel would be normal. Although this is a very small gun, again with that 5.5-inch barrel, that's probably pretty normal for this. And I gotta say, I can't justify its price yet. I think this would be a gun to see how it holds up long term and really almost get the 500 to 600 round count through it and really break it down and see if there's any wear or how it holds up or if there's any failures. Everything did run fun. I think this is a great range gun to take out and have fun with. I understand 300 Blackout is expensive, and I also get a lot of feedback from friends and family members about 500 Blackout, and most of them don't have any experience with it. So it's kind of hard for me to, I would like to say anything negative about it, because what its application and what it's going to be used for is kind of close quarter stuff, as I mentioned before. And don't think I advocate, clearing rooms and this is all worst case scenario. This is primarily for, up on the home front, coyote, varmint kind of deal. Do want to stress that. But I think it's still going to work perfect for what it's intended for. I do have an Enforce light, and I've had pretty good luck with these. They're not as bright as I would like it to be, but I did have it laying around, so I threw it on here. And, of course, the Holo 5 Sun, which kind of got it halfway sighted in at about 25, 30 yards out, and it ran perfect. It was a perfect matchup for this gun. Really getting this brace on here, I think that's when you get to see, obviously, the full potential of all these little pistols, or if you decide to convert them to an SBR, that's really where these things shine. It didn't have enough recoil to where I felt like it was hard to keep on target. I really still like it. This was kind of one of those buys that I seen it, I knew what I wanted it for, and I'm still pretty happy I did. I have changed a few things up, and I will put iron sights on this, but I always grip right here, the C-style grip, and pull in. But, I'm not really going to give it its full dependable range review just yet, because I still want to put a lot of bullets through here. However, put right at about, I think 75 bullets through it, and had no flaws, used several different magazines. And I do like how smooth this flared out magwell is. I think with all of these newer style AR15s, that should just be kind of a standard, because mag exchange with these with a little bit of practice, I feel would be very easy. And of course had no hang-ups or issues with the PMags Gen 3 with the side glass here. Those are kind of my go-to AR15 mags. Overall impressions, I'm happy with it. Definitely going to try to get on the phone with Maxim and figure out the buffer tube. Like I said, that was what the gun came with there. A little bit shorter, and that was kind of the back plate on there. Speaking of the back plate, it does have, as you can see, the QD mount right there, and a QD mount on each side. Is it worth $2,000? Yeah, no, I don't think so. I respect the quality of this arm, how good it feels in the hands, but I think $2,000, I think you would see a whole lot more of these out there with random gun ranges than you would with now. I feel like at $2,000, they haven't proved their worth yet. I do understand these are kind of designed for more special forces and kind of in for first responder market. But I think in the civilian world, which now is what this gun's targeted to, I think they should come down. I think realistically at $1,200, $1,300, which that's not going to happen. I understand the cost to build these is a whole lot. You got to pay people. You're in America. Cost of all these things go up. But I think at $2,000, you're not going to see too many of these until years to come. And that's really my final thoughts on this 300 Blackout Maxim Defense PDX. Like I said, I am happy. I look forward to shooting this more, getting a thermal and some iron sights and an off to the side red dot. And then I think I would get to tinker with it a little more at nighttime. And who knows, we'll do a follow-up review here in a few months, see where I'm at with it. But guys, please do comment. Let me know what you guys think about this slightly different gun to the channel. Let me know if you guys have handled one of these, your overall thoughts and opinion. And I hope I'm not alone with how good this gun looks, because I just think if anything, it's built like a tank and it just looks so dadgum good. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I look forward to kind of doing a follow-up review with this. But as always, if you liked today's video, or if you didn't like today's video, please tell us all about it in the comment section. Like, subscribe. It does help a whole lot with the channel. As Misha would say, yada, 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 yada. Anyways, guys, appreciate it, as always, listening to me ramble on. This is Fox, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.